being an entrepreneur or being self-employed is not for the faint-hearted and not as romantic as everyone makes it out to be. A friend of mine recently said that, you know what, I want to start a business, but I'm not quite sure how I should go about it. What are the things that I should look out for? And these are some of the classic questions that you get asked, especially in this coaching business. Now, for me, I can only speak about my own experiences, but I want to tie them to some truths that have been handed down over time on people who have started businesses, have made a success out of them, developed from being self-employed, grown into small, medium enterprises, and eventually became corporations. My name is Monesi, and you're watching Get Yours. Now, when you go into business, it's very important that you are very clear on what exactly it is that you are selling or offering to your customer. If you don't have a customer and if you have nothing to sell, then you're not in business, okay? None of these other things that people assume mean starting a business, what I like to call corporate services, constitute a business. What are these corporate services? Corporate services for me are the things that allow your business to function and sustain itself regardless of whether you're making sales or not. The first element of the corporate side of your business is the legal entity side. So your certificate of incorporation, your revenue or KRA or tax certificate, anything to do with your incorporation as a legal entity. This includes your name as whether it's a company or a limited or a sole proprietorship or a partnership, whatever the structure is, how it's registered within the country or the government that you're in, that side. And that usually has some legal requirements and some ongoing costs, like having a business permit, for example, renewing your license if you're in professional services, like your practicing license if you're a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer. Anything that your entity requires to abide by the rules and the regulations of that place that you're in, the country that you're in, that is the legal side. These are costs. The second aspect is your communication and anything related to the identity and the communication of it. I'm talking about IT services, your website, your emails, your social media presence, whatever it is. All right. There might be some creative elements to this as well, graphic design and so on and so forth. The third aspect of this would be your brand. So anything to do with your logo or your stationery or whatever, anything that has your brand, your letterhead, your email signatures. Again, these are ongoing corporate considerations that you need to have. And finally, of course, you need to be able to have an idea of what money is coming and going, so there has to be some financial accounting system that allows you to keep track of that. Some people are very okay with using a simple Excel spreadsheet, but it also helps to have some proper books that are kept by a proper accountant, so that when you do come to filing your returns, or if you do have ambitions of growing or even selling off parts of your business or getting investors in, the first thing that they're going to look at is your books. Now, all those are fine, okay, and you can even include operational systems and anything that the business needs in order to run. These are corporate services. However, when some of us are starting out in our business journey, we focus and spend so much time on these things instead of focusing on the actual business itself. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not selling anything, then you are not in business. You just have a place that you go to and you're doing something. But if you're not actually selling something and getting paid for it, or receiving revenue or income for it, then it's not a business. A business is the buying and selling of goods. And I want to focus on what you need to be focusing on as a business person when you decide you're going to start on your journey. These corporate services, these are things that one or two people max can take care of, and you don't need to spend your energy and your time on these things. Of course, it helps to have a good website and all of these things, but these are not money makers, okay? Your money is made on focusing on your product and your service. What exactly is it that you're putting out to your customers? Okay, so obviously here you're considering the product that you have and the service that you have. You also want to consider how much this product or service costs, because your customer might be a high-end customer, so maybe you're in the high-end market, maybe it might be a mid-level customer, or it might be someone who is dealing with commodities, and you're selling a product that is, you know, not that expensive, but you're trying to get more frequent customers as a result. So what exactly are you selling or offering? Who are you selling it to? How much are you pricing your product or your service? How are you bringing it out to your customers? How are you promoting it? How are you marketing and selling and advertising and letting people know that you have this product and that it is available? And finally, where are you doing this? Are you doing this online? Are you doing this face-to-face? Are you doing this via proxy? How are you, where you see, there's a difference in where you are located as a corporate entity, your office, your back end of operations, versus where your product is being sold. Is it sold in a shop? Is it sold online? Is it sold face to face? Is it sold, you know, business to business? How is it being sold? And what I've basically alluded to here are what traditionally people call the 5 P's of business. So product / service, promotion, which is your marketing efforts, because you have to get your product out to people. Place, where is this product or service being sold? Where is it accessible? How is it being distributed? Price, how much is it? Because your price will determine the kind of customer that you're going to get. And finally, people. Who are these customers of yours? And for me, a business person or an entrepreneur or someone who is looking to be self-employed, these 5 things are the things that you need to be focusing pretty much, I'd say 80 to 90% of your time on, as opposed to these other corporate things. These corporate things, your entity, where you're located, what your website is. I'm not discounting and saying that they're not important. What I'm saying is that those are cost centers, okay? That's where you're going to be spending. You need money to sustain a business permit or a practicing license. You need money to sustain your emails, domains, and your websites, or your social media presence. You need money to sustain an office and staff and accountants and lawyers and IT people and whatever it is that you need to keep the business running. These are costs. Your job as a business person is to focus on revenue and earning. And those 5 things are where your energy needs to be channeled on from the beginning. In fact, if you can have customers from the start, then everything else comes into play. I hope this has been useful, because, you know, I'm actually dealing with 2 cases right now where someone has been trying to start a business for the last 5 months, and they've been spending so much energy and time dealing with these corporate issues. You know, where is my location going to be? Are people going to be able to access it? What does my website look like? How does my office look? And so on and so forth. The training of my staff, and you haven't sold a single thing. You don't have a prospective client on your books. You know, your priorities as a business person need to shift from corporate services to what exactly it is that you're selling that will bring you money. I hope you will continue sharing and watching and subscribing. It's always a pleasure engaging with you guys. Let's keep the conversation going, because all I want you to do in 2018 is get yours.